This video will show how I use a long cable, a cable winch, and a chainsaw to take down a tree in the direction I want it to go. Now the first thing I want to point out is how important it is to make sure the ladder is stable before you climb up it. It can also easily shift if you don't have it centered with the top rung. So make absolutely sure it won't shift when you get to the top before you go up with anything in your hand. The ladder can flip over and throw you off if you put too much weight on either side at the top. So that being said, the first thing I'll do here is loop the cable around the first branch I want to take down, then attach it to the cable winch and tighten it up. I'm attaching the cable winch to this other tree stump nearby, but I've also attached it to a trailer hitch on a truck a couple of times before, and that has worked fine as well. You just have to make sure that the truck weighs more than the tree you're trying to pull down, or else the tree could pull the truck back with it when it falls. You will also want to make sure to use a cable longer than the height of the tree, so it doesn't fall back and damage the truck. So before I start cutting into the tree, I will crank the cable winch up until I have all the tension in the cable out, just in case I cut too much and the branch starts to fall. I start off by cutting the first V shape into the branch, and then going back down the ladder to crank on the winch to see if it will pull it forward at all. There wasn't much free tension on the cable though, so I go back up the ladder to cut a couple more V notches into the branch. I try it this way hoping that the 3 notches will be enough to start pulling the branch back in the direction I want it to fall. So I go down and start cranking on the winch again, but it doesn't feel like I make any progress pulling it towards me, so I need to go up and cut even more. This time I decide to cut deeper back into the tree, so I just cut 2 of the V notches into one. At this point I'm over halfway through the tree branch, so I figure that should be enough to start pulling it back. And I'm right, it pulls back just enough to miss the utility lines before breaking off. So I go back up to attach the cable the other half of the tree and tighten up the winch until all the tension is free from the cable again. But this time I'll be cutting into the front and back of the tree base, starting on the side of the direction that I want the tree to fall. Again I notch a V shape about a third of the way through the tree. I need to be careful not to cut too much because this tree is leaning towards the power line that goes to my house. Now I go around and start cutting another V notch into the back about a third of the way into the tree as well. This time watching the tree closely to make sure it doesn't start leaning even more towards my power line than it already is. Then I go crank on the winch to see if I can pull it forward at all, which it does a little, so I just keep going back and forth cutting and cranking until I pull the tree back away from the power line. I cut more on the backside since the tree seems to be leaning more in the direction I want it to fall, and crank a little bit more to pull it in that direction even more. Now when I cut in the back I see it's starting to fall, so I try to push it over the rest of the way, but it won't budge. But it is cut enough to where I can pull it down the rest of the way by cranking the cable winch. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.